5 years after his arrest, the prosecutor's office dropped the case against Sławomir Nowak. A decade ago, he was one of the most important politicians in the ruling Civic Platform Party and a close associate of Prime Minister Donald Tusk. In 2013, he left mainstream politics after the prosecutor's office brought charges against him, including making false financial disclosures. In 2020, he was detained on suspicion of corruption in Ukraine, leading an organized criminal group, and money laundering. Nowak spent 9 months in a detention center, where he remained silent throughout. After the Civic Platform took power in 2023, the investigation was discontinued a few weeks after former Judge Waldemar Żurek became Minister of Justice and Prosecutor General. The prosecutor's office withdrew the charges against Nowak, and the case was dismissed. The case concerns allegations that Nowak accepted bribes in exchange for arranging lucrative positions in state-owned companies. The indictment in this case was sent to court in December 2021. It is obvious that the motion to discontinue the investigation was filed by Sławomir Nowak's defense. But what is most interesting is that the prosecutor joined in. And it so happened that the prosecutor in charge of the case changed after Donald Tusk's government took power. This is just another example of an action that is reckless and not based on material truth or legal principles. These are politically motivated steps that are intended to clear the mud from Donald Tusk's political allies. The court granted the request because it found there was no evidence against Sławomir Nowak. This is very interesting because in 2021, the prosecutor's office published a recording showing money secured in the apartment of the Civic Platform politician. Sławomir Nowak hid cash in various currencies with a total value of approximately 4 million Polish zloty in special hiding places. The forensic expert concluded that genetic material belonging to Sławomir N. was found on items used to fasten money and on items used to store it. In addition, investigators also secured a notebook in which the money received was meticulously recorded. The handwriting expert who analyzed the handwritten notes had no doubts and, as a result of his research, made a categorical conclusion that the handwritten notes in the notebook were written by Sławomir N. In total, Sławomir Nowak was charged with 17 counts, including leading an organized criminal group in Poland and Ukraine, corruption, and abusing his influence while holding ministerial positions in Donald Tusk's cabinet. The proceedings concerning what the court referred to as the Polish thread have been discontinued, so the charges related to activities in Ukraine will continue to be the subject of proceedings. According to investigators, Sławomir Nowak, as head of Ukrawtodor, allegedly accepted bribes amounting to 1.3 million Polish zloty. Polish President Karol Nawrocki and his wife have begun their visit to the U.S. Today, the presidential couple is visiting the National Shrine of Our Lady of Częstochowa in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. On September 23rd, in New York, Nawrocki will take part in the general debate of the 80th session of the UN General Assembly. As announced by Presidential Minister Marcin Przydacz in his speech at the UN Forum, President Nawrocki will present Poland's view on the future of international relations and global order. He will also talk about regional challenges, including security challenges related to Russia's aggressive stance and its goals, which are to either destroy or rebuild the existing security architecture and move away from a world based on international law in favor of a world based on the right of conquest, because that is what Russian policy is essentially guided by. During the UN General Assembly session, the President of Poland will hold a series of meetings with leaders of other countries and representatives of political and business organizations. There will certainly be many important meetings with leaders of other countries. President Karol Nawrocki is likely to meet with US President Donald Trump. There might also be a brief conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Polish president will also take part in a high-level debate of the UN Security Council on the challenges posed by artificial intelligence, which has a strong impact on, among other things, the political and international landscape. More drones are popping up like mushrooms after rain. Today alone, mushroom pickers found 4 such objects. 2 in Mazovia, in Wodynie near Siedlce, and near Biała Góra and Stromiec in the Białobrzegi district. The third, already known to be a Gerbera drone, i.e. a decoy, in Sulmice in the Lublin province. The Mazovian Military Police Unit in Warsaw and the Military Police Unit in Lublin are conducting operations at the site where 3 unidentified aerial objects were discovered in the vicinity of Stromiec, Białobrzegi County, Wodynie, Siedlce County, and Sulmice near Zamość. A fourth drone was allegedly found in the Goszcze area in the Kraków district. The Armed Forces Operational Command claimed there had been no violation of Polish airspace. This means the drones found are remnants of the Russian air raid a week and a half ago. I believe that these are elements, or at least in one case we know that the entire drone, a Gerbera-type drone, a Russian decoy drone, was found today. In total, at least 22 such objects must have flown into Poland. At least, because this may not be the end of the finds. Information about all such debris should undoubtedly be reported to the authorities. We urge everyone not to approach such objects. Most of the drones found did not contain explosives, but we have information from the Ukrainians that these Gerbera-type drones often contained explosives when they fell on Ukrainian territory. Thanks to NATO's allied support, polar skies are safer. On Friday night, British fighter jets made their first patrol flight over Poland as part of the Eastern Sentry mission. Our Royal Air Force Typhoons have flown the first of a series of air defense missions over Poland, sending a clear signal: NATO airspace will be defended. I'm proud of the outstanding RAF pilots and aircrew in this mission to defend our allies from Putin's reckless aggression. This was announced by the British Secretary of State for Defense. NATO launched Operation Eastern Guard on September 12th, after Russian drones flew into Poland. Our partnership with NATO has never been stronger. This sortie marks the RAF's first operational mission on Eastern Sentry, reinforcing the UK's steadfast commitment to NATO and its allies. Poland's government has seriously damaged Poland's good relations with its NATO allies by lying to representatives of Europe and the whole world about an alleged drone that was supposed to have crashed into a house in Wyryki. Drones are instruments of terror that destroy entire societies and homes. 2 days ago, they tried to target Polish homes. This is one of those homes, a village called Wyryki in eastern Poland. As it turned out, the building was hit by a missile from a Polish fighter jet. Donald Tusk's government concealed this fact from the Polish people and NATO allies. This could mean the total collapse of Poland's credibility as an ally, a country that needs to be taken seriously in this very serious conflict, in which, whether we like it or not, we are involved. This is a huge embarrassment for Poland on the international stage. At Poland's request, the UN Security Council was convened, where the Polish Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs was the first to present evidence that is not 100% credible. In the government's own words, communication errors do not serve us well. In fact, these were outright lies. And the Polish government lied at the UN. Showing these documents at the UN certainly did not add to our credibility. It was a clear mistake in terms of the quality of information communicated on the international stage. We are not safe. It is a tragedy. Drop the kids' toys and stop fooling around. Donald Tusk's government is playing into Russian propaganda narratives, says Professor Sławomir Cęckiewicz, head of the National Security Bureau. One of the angles of Russian propaganda is to show Poland as a fundamentally disloyal and deceptive ally. Deliberate mistakes made by the government on the international stage certainly do not serve Poland and the Polish people well, especially when the stakes are existential. Heavy security greeted the massive crowd attending Charlie Kirk's memorial service on Sunday at an Arizona football stadium where President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other prominent MAGA allies were expected to pay tribute to the slain conservative activist.
I love Charlie Kirk and I support what he said, and I think it's just devastating that he's gone forever and that there's no bringing him back. I just want to be able to experience this one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to remember an American hero.
Thousands of people massed in front of the Arizona football stadium.
I had great respect for him. I think he was nothing short of a genius. He was an amazing debater. And I think it was exceptional how he would debate with the youth. Nobody really does that.
Attendees came hours in advance, expecting security to be extremely tight, given Trump's attendance as well as the ongoing political turmoil in the aftermath of Kirk's assassination. A senior Department of Homeland Security official said the service had been given the agency's highest level security rating, reserved for events of the highest national significance, such as the Super Bowl.
He was unbelievable. He had just an army of young people. They loved him so much. I mean, they're devastated right now. Everybody's devastated. So we're going tomorrow, and we're going to be flying in, and we're going to see some little words, but there are no words to really describe what happened.
Organizers said they expected to fill the stadium, which has a capacity of more than 73,000, and had arranged for overflow space at a nearby arena, according to Andrew Colvett, a spokesman for Kirk's advocacy group, Turning Point USA.
Right on!
Kirk, 31, was assassinated by a single bullet on September 10th during a campus event in Utah.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
The 22-year-old suspected gunman has been charged with murder, and investigators say he told his romantic partner in text messages that he had killed Kirk because he had, quote, enough of his hate.